So I got a message recently asking if I could make an art doll based on a doll I made way back in 2017. My style and methods have changed quite a lot in 8 years, so of course I jumped at the chance. I couldn't wait to revisit my old creepy cute pastel goth style and give it a 2025 makeover. I'm using some polyester staple fibre for the body and limbs to get a nice firm feel with lots of support. I want the torso to feel pretty solid so it keeps its shape. It's been about 5 years since I last took a commission, so I want to get this one right. There's always a slight fear in the back of my mind that the customer will hate the doll and won't want to pay. That's only happened to me once. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear that story. I have another video planned that'll be more of a face-to-face chat about things to consider when requesting a commission from an artist. So if you have any questions about the process, please do put them in the comments and I'll add them to the list. I've used high loft polyfill for the head, which is a bit smoother with a bit more bounce. I found the high loft fibre creates a rounder shape for the head. It's also a bit easier to needle felt the hair into. I've picked out some pretty metal beads for the joints in the arms and the legs. My earlier dolls were pretty much static apart from button jointed shoulders and hinge jointed hips. This one is going to be almost fully articulated. The neck joint will be a button joint and the hips will be a simple hinge joint. At the moment I don't make movable joints for the ankles as I quite like the static foot shape. Maybe I'll have a go at making a jointed foot at some point though, just to see what it looks like. The jointing is all done with Gutermann top stitch thread. Top stitch is a nice strong polyester thread that comes in a lot of colours. I've tried a few different jointing threads over the years, from cotton to linen to nylon thread, and nothing else has come close to this, so this is the thread I always recommend. I will put links to some of the materials I use in the description. We're going for a sort of traditional doll-like dress for this one. Sort of Victorian inspired, a little bit 1950s with a bit of a gothic twist. So, of course, she needs some Mary Jane shoes. I found the simplest way to do this on a small-sized doll is by painting the shoes in acrylics. I'm painting a grey base coat first so it completely covers those stripes, then I'll go over it in black for a glossy leather-like finish. My customer really liked the face designs on some of my early art dolls, so I'm kind of going back to my roots with this one, but bringing the concept up to date. I've used a bright white cotton-based fabric for high contrast features, and I want to get the shading around the eyes nice and dark. My aim with the early art dolls was to achieve a look that was almost like an ink drawing on paper, like a 3D kind of illustration. Kind of spooky, ghostly, skull-like with lots of fine line work around the eyes. Also, I couldn't afford quilting cotton back then and white cotton sheeting was cheap. I do use a lot of grey and neutral coloured skin fabrics now though, so if a customer wants a specific skin tone, I'm happy to accommodate. I think any skin colour can work with a ghostly gothic look. One thing I've improved upon in the last 8 years is the quality of the art materials I use. I used to use the standard colour pencil for the shading around the eye, but I could never get it dark enough. Now I use dough and chromaflow pencils, which are soft and very high pigment. I use the blending pencil to smooth it out and get a nice smudgy line around the outside. I want to create some creeping vines around the eyes. I'm using quite a fine pen, this is a 0.1. I use the Derwent Graphic Line Maker pens for the line work detail on the face. These are permanent when they're dry, they're light fast and they don't contain any gelatin. I love how these antique silver finish buttons work with the shading. I think I want to bring this look back for a few more dolls. Keeping with the monochromatic theme, I'm making the dress from black cotton. For some reason I decided this doll really needs broderie anglaise pleats around the hem of the skirt. Pinning and pressing pleats takes so long I was sort of starting to regret it halfway through, but I know the effect will be worth the effort. I'm going to keep the seam on the right side of the fabric so it's on the outside of the skirt. That might seem counterintuitive, but I'll sew this polka dot ribbon over it and what we end up with is a nice neat finish on both sides. The dress will be permanently fixed to the doll, so I'm going to ladder stitch the bodice up the back. Then I'll sew the skirt in place and joint the shoulders afterwards. The thing I like about fitting the dress permanently to an art doll is the way you can get everything looking exactly as you want it, and you know it's not going to move. There's no need for bulky Velcro strips or hook and eye fasteners. I also like to keep those bead joints visible on the arms, so doing it this way there's no sleeves covering the pretty metal beads. Once I get the shoulders jointed, it really feels like the doll's starting to take shape. She still needs hair and maybe some jewellery, but at this point I can start to get a pretty good idea of what she's going to look like. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, please don't forget to hit the like button and let me know. You can also subscribe if you like so you don't miss the next one. If you'd like to support the channel further, super thanks are always appreciated, and you should be able to see some dolls and other art I have available linked below. The initial reference photo the customer sent me had this pale dusty pink hair, which I think is perfect for this style. They also mentioned they like pigtails, lots of volume, lace and bows, so I know exactly what I want to do with it. The yarn I'm using is acrylic, it's from the Signet Seriously Chunky range. As usual, I'm needle felting it in with the Clover pen style tool and 38 gauge triangular needles. Because I'm going to be styling this into pigtails, I'm not felting it in layer by layer as I usually would. I'm just positioning the yarn around the edges that are going to be visible, laying it in the direction I want the hair to fall. I'm unravelling this and pulling the loose fibres out as I go. There will be some strands left over, but I'll bag those up and save them for later. I can always use them on a shorter hairstyle or just to add some pink streaks to a doll later. Nothing will be wasted. I need to felt a straight line along the centre to form a parting. Though I'm obviously not going to be able to felt over that button, so I'll have to bring the parting around to the side and sweep the hair across, which I actually think will look quite cute. It took me ages to get the pigtails even. I didn't record that bit as I was mostly battling with them with the doll anchored in my lap. But I've tied them with some pink thread so they stay put. Now they just need some big lace bows to add a bit of drama. I'm so pleased with how this little one turned out. She's now on her way to a new home across the ocean. I'd love to make more dolls like this, so if you'd like to have a unique doll made just for you, please do get in touch. I'll leave the ordering details down in the description. If you've enjoyed watching this doll come together, there's another little goth girl here that I think you're going to love. Go watch that one now, and I'll see you next time. Bye!